instaMERSION.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the next episode of I Am Talk. We have my very long-time friend, Joel Campos, in the house from Studio Red. He's a very seasoned videographer for, oh my gosh, yeah, like salt and pepper, man. But 10 plus years, I want to say, or maybe even more.
No, 2008.
2008, okay, so that
started Studio Red.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. So very long time, very mature and innovative, creative. One of the most creative people that I know, that was literally just kind of there in the beginning when DSLRs took off as being actual tools you can use for videography. I always remember, just meeting you back in the day, even like when I first moved here, you being one of the most creative people.
I still remember.
Yes.
Yeah, when we first met.
Is that extreme, right? Way back in the day.
You were this hip hop guy from California.
No. How embarrassing.
No, it's like you were we saw your reel and we were like, whoa.
You're like, who is this crazy
guy?
No,
we were like, yeah, because I mean, we were all learning still back then.
Yeah, we're all still learning. I remember just learning After Effects probably like around that time, and then wasn't as heavy into video. It was probably more into web design. But actually what brought me overboard into the video arena was I remember being at Chris and Mari's wedding. I don't know if you remember this. I think this is probably at the time where you guys were just really taking storytelling in terms of just weddings, love stories, but just taking it to the next level. But I remember you were shooting their wedding, and then I was just so intrigued by it. I was like, what kind of camera is that? And then it was a Mark II, or it was a Mark, what do you call it? Mark 5D
5D Mark II.
5D Mark II.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was just like watching you just take all these shots, and you were like, hey, like come over here, like check this out. And you showed me a few settings.
Oh, really?
But it was enough to, I think it was that week after I actually ended up buying one.
Oh, really?
Yes, because of what you had showed me, I was just blown away.
Those are awesome cameras.
Yeah.
Back then, it's just like, wow.
Oh my gosh.
You had to go from like a camcorder to like a DSLR with nice, glass. And
yeah,
it's just
right.
Like, wow, this looks amazing.
And then even just that gap from going super old school I mean, like they were pretty hefty in size, right? I mean, probably like mini DV, right? To actually shooting on something more handheld than on a compact flash cards.
It's so funny is when I started video was in high school, and like nothing was digital. We were just shooting super VHS back then. Like I still have my camcorder at my parents' house. Yeah. Like it's like this big,
Did you have the two VHSs?
Yeah, so it started, like my first taste of video was in high school. It was a summer program. And we had to do a video. They gave us like a video project, and that's where they showed us like the camera and how to work the, VHS decks, and like there was like a title generator. And then we had to punch in and punch out and then do all the. It was so difficult back then.
Very tedious, very
super tedious, but like I loved it, And I started creating slideshows and stuff like that. I even did, like one of my English projects. Everybody had to do a presentation in front of the class. Like you had to learn a poem, and then go in front of the class. And like I did not want to stand in front of the class. So I asked my teacher, can I make a video?
No way.
Yeah. So here I am, I created this video. It was about, I don't know, it was something about a bus. And so I borrowed a whole bunch of friends, and we went to the bus yard. This is high school, like 4 friends. And we asked them, can we borrow one of your buses? And so we shot like all this stuff,
Wow.
in the bus. And then I made this video. And then when it came to my turn to do my presentation, turned off all the lights. Everybody's like, what's going on?
What's happening?
Like, pop in my VHS tape, turn the TV on. And then, so rather than, having to, I still did my presentation.
Sure.
But like, I still stood in front of the class, but the focus wasn't on me, it was on the video. Like I just narrated basically
It was almost
the
like
video.
you had like a sixth sense, being able to speak out through this other
Everyone was
medium.
like, afterwards, they were like, that wasn't fair, you know?
You got to hide behind.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But, yeah, so that like stoked my fire about video. But at the same time, it was really expensive back then.
Yes.
It was super expensive to get in. So, once I graduated from high school, like, I just stopped doing video. Yeah. I was like in marching band, and I was just focused on doing that.
Yeah. Not sustainable for the college grad.
Yeah.
For the college
it's just
student,
like, there's no way I'd be able to afford all this equipment and stuff. Yeah. And then, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 years later, like I was part of, I started going to New Hope, Oahu. That's when they first started.
Yeah.
They arrived on campus at UH, and so I started going.
This is probably like in the mid 90s or late 90s?
Late 90s.
Yeah.
And they had just started, and, so I started attending there, and then years go by. I just began as an intern, and then got involved with the college ministry.
Nice.
With Extreme. And,
yes.
So we had our own office for our college ministry, and in the office was an iMac.
No.
And somebody had shot or brought out like a mini DV camcorder.
Yeah.
So this is like maybe 4, 5, 6 years later.
Oh my gosh.
And then I see this iMac, and I see this, mini DV camera and this tape we just shot.
Yeah.
With just all this footage from this camp we just, and I was like, plugged it in and just started fiddling around with everything. And I was just blown away how easy it was to do everything.
Wow.
Everything that I like,
done back in the high school days, all this and things with technology advancing just a little bit more.
Something that took me, like a full day to do,
Sure.
I could do in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Just like that on this iMac.
Right.
And, yeah.
And even with mini DV, you still had to go through a lot of the footage.
Yeah,
and I remember you have to set your markers to get the clips that you want.
But I was like, man, I can just drag and drop music. I can just titles. I can make transitions and, edit the footage down to like, what I wanted. Like, just like that. I didn't have to worry about punching in and punching out and then like setting up the VHS, making sure this is running. Oh, this started, and then start to record here. I was just like so tedious. And then, this digital age just.
Oh my gosh, just blew up pretty much, right?
So from there, I started getting back into video, just dabbling in it.
And then I'm sure you being able now to have to focus less on the tedious tasks and whatnot, but now being able to focus more of your attention on just telling great stories or narratives.
Yeah. And then, so I dabbled, and the, guys at church were like, hey, how about you just start interning with us, on video? And
so was there even a video ministry before that?
There was. So Tim Savage oversaw like a video, and, they did great stuff.
Oh,
and I began to intern, and then they sent me to like a Final Cut Pro class.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
At UH, and it was like a weekend class, and even Pastor Wayne even sat in on the class. And so and then I got into Final Cut and learned all that, and things just took off from there. So I started as an intern, and then like 3 or 4 years later, the senior editor at New Hope, stepped down, and then they were like, "You want a job?" I was like, "What?" At that time, I was like still trying to figure out what to do with my life.
Yeah.
Like, out of high school, I thought I was gonna be an engineer. Did that for a while. No.
But I
thought I was gonna be a band director, because I was in band, and I was like, I even took a little time to go into Bible college. So I think I'd be like a pastor, possibly, and then here I am dabbling in video, and then all of a sudden, I went from an intern to a full-time job, and I was like, okay, God.
Like, what's happening here?
This is, and then, my journey just.
Wow. No, it's real cool how, just the Lord was able to take what started off as a a hobby or a fascination,
Yeah.
and then now actually even having opportunity as an intern, and then now there being an open position for you to actually be employed as a video. Were you just a video editor, or what was your?
We did it well.
You just kind of did it all.
Did it all.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was just Tim Savage was the one who headed up the ministry, and he basically mentored me for like the next 8 years.
Wow.
And so we did, basically threw us into everything.
Yeah.
We had to do everything. He was so funny. I just spoke with him the other day, and he was talking to somebody about how he's so old school, you know, and people in the industry, a lot of times they do one thing really, really well.
Yes.
Like Tim is like a director, you know. He doesn't necessarily touch a camera. Like there's a camera department, and there's
though
like a
he's
DP
so knowledgeable and all that stuff
and then
too,
there's an audio guy who just does audio, you know. But when we were at New Hope and we were doing videos, like everybody did everything.
Wow. Just kind of forced to be jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. You had to write, you know, you had to shoot, you had to edit, we had to learn audio, lighting, everything, you know? Yeah. So it's difficult, but I mean, those years were like formative, you know, in setting this foundation to like where I am today. I still do like a lot of things, you know, like almost everything, you know, but yeah, so that's where, my workflow and everything has been set.
Yeah, and then you went through this transition too, where you were at New Hope for quite a number of years, right? And then there is this period where you launched off into your own studio.
Yeah, so I went from New Hope to starting my own company, and this was with Kristy Martin at the time. Yeah, so we were doing like friends' weddings at that time, and we were like, hey, let's start a company and let's try this full time. So we did weddings. Weddings like full time in the beginning. Yeah.
What was that transition like for you? You know, just working so many years under one of the greatest directors, right? But all of a sudden now, being independent and on your own.
I mean, it was tough, you know, because now you're like, you have to learn the business of things. So, and still, we're still learning a lot of that stuff. But, you know, it's not just doing video. It's like you have to learn how to market and deal with everything.
Different situations, personalities.
Budgets, and it's just like everything, So, but it was great. We did a lot of weddings for a lot of years.
Wow.
That was fun. Learned a lot. And so that was another like turning point and another building block. Like we learned so much doing weddings.
When you guys were doing weddings, I really saw you guys entering, you know, just the way that videography and, you know, just the whole digital world was moving, you know, from your guys' work. I was just really able to witness just this new form of storytelling through love stories, through engagements, and even actually capturing weddings, same day edits. Like I had never seen that stuff before until I actually went to a couple weddings and actually saw the work that you did and was just blown away at the turnaround, right? And then not only the turnaround, but the quality of what you guys were able to put off in such a limited time. What was that like for you? Just, you know,
I mean, jumping into weddings, we applied a lot of what we learned at New Hope. Yeah. You know, and then there was there was this one company from Canada, like everybody was looking up to these guys. This company called Still Motion, and their stuff was like phenomenal. It was like the top. Like everybody, they were doing all brand new. Well, not necessarily brand new, but you know, their stuff was just cutting edge back then. And it was more storytelling based, and they were doing same day edits. And so we were like, let's learn from them. And so we flew up to Canada for like a 3, 4, 5 day workshop. Nice. And we got to learn, you know, from the best in the world at that time.
That's cool that they actually offered.
Yeah, they opened up their doors and they like broke down everything. They answered any questions that we have. They showed us everything. behind the scenes, how they put stuff together.
I would be taking notes like crazy.
We were like,
right?
yeah, but that was like another like major foundational like building block that like changed my mindset as far as like storytelling, and we began doing same day edits at weddings, where we film the day, and then by the time you hit the reception, by the end of the reception, we have something prepared, like to kind of highlight the day, and everybody's just like, what? Another, and so weddings. We love doing weddings. We loved like past tense.
Past tense.
It's so difficult, know.
I was just about to ask, because we had some recent conversations too, and even with that, I've seen your business taking a little shift, right? Even from the wedding industry to what you guys are doing now.
So we reached a point where, we were just we're going like 150,000 miles per hour, doing weddings, but it was like, like for me personally, I reached a point of like burnout.
Oh.
Like it was just like I wanted to stop doing video altogether.
Yeah. What about that aspect of work kind of brought you to that burnout point?
Well, like doing weddings, I don't know. I think part of it's too my personality. It's like I didn't want to work with a structure when filming weddings and putting wedding films together. I didn't want to work with a structure where it was just like templated and
and after you do a few weddings, it kind of naturally gravitates towards that, right?
But at the same time, like for me, that wasn't fulfilling, to just kick out stuff.
Especially
like slam things together and then add transitions, add music, and then just put it out. It's like, no, like that storytelling aspect really resonated with me, like, and it still does to today. I just couldn't take a wedding and just kick it out right away. It took us like for me, like up to 3-4 weeks sometimes.
Wow.
To craft something like original and that felt, they call it cinematic, back then.
And that's unique to the couple too, right?
Yeah, and it's unique to the couple and something that they'll watch. And a lot of times we were doing same day edits back then. We wanted their full film, which is like maybe 20-30 minutes, to be way better than that highlight.
Right.
So so we were putting a lot of time into that. But at the same time, if it takes 2 to 3 weeks to edit a wedding, and within that 3 weeks, you're filming additional weddings, you kick one edit out, you add 3 more to the pile.
Sheesh. Oh
so
my gosh.
like you kick one out, and you add maybe 3 more to that pile never goes down.
Yeah, it's a weird
so the workload,
right? Where it just
so
never
that
ends.
workload just became like taxing mentally and emotionally, and just like creatively, like you're just like trying to
just keep up with the demand, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, like didn't want to compromise the quality of stuff.
No, absolutely. I could just really see that, not only burning you out physically, but also just kind of deflating your whole creative edge.
Exactly.
Right?
And just the way God's wired me,
Yeah.
like I can't just do something like, just simply like in a, just kick it out. No, it's for me, just the way I'm wired. I have to.
Yeah, you're
think
too
of
full
what's
of
the best
way
to give this, and ultimately too, like I'm accountable to this gift and these opportunities that God gives me, and just like just got to make sure like I give my best too in those.
For somebody that is just so creative, and you're always looking at just whether it's new innovative ways to tell stories, or even just we were on a shoot recently, and I just loved the you're just so playful with all the different shots that you were trying, and just seeing the life coming out from you, going from just that wedding world, and then taking that pause and saying, okay, you know what, we need to at least maybe, I don't know if it's a permanent thing or maybe for the time being, but just to kind of shift gears and to be able to allow those creative juices to continue to flow.
Yeah.
What was that transition like?
Well, it was scary. So I was on the brink of burnout, doing weddings, and me and Kristy, and my wife, now we were like, let's test God and let's stop doing weddings.
Wow.
And when you say that, where that's like your bread and butter.
Yes.
Because with weddings, you book them like almost 6 months to a year in advance,
Yeah.
so you know have
what's
work.
coming up. Yeah.
You have work. You know you have work. When we stop doing weddings, it's like we don't know when the next job is coming.
Yeah.
But since then, it's been awesome to see the opportunities that God has brought, and I mean, we still test Him, and we still rely on Him to provide us opportunities and jobs and stuff like that.
What sort of projects maybe have you been working on more recently, or just projects that are giving you a little bit more life creatively?
Well, I've been really fortunate to do a lot of like mini docs, short form documentaries for like a lot of nonprofits and
Nice.
schools and and churches too. And God's a lot of those opportunities God's provided mainly in those spaces. So so a lot of the stuff we do is more corporate, educational, nonprofit. But but at the same time we embrace any opportunity that's presented, and we just run with it.
Do you guys ever foresee yourselves maybe going back to weddings with a different feel, or is that chapter kind of done for now?
Well, I think it's done for now. It's tough. It's tough doing weddings because it's tough. It's tough when you see your colleagues on the mainland. Like their weddings, they start off like $10,000.
Sheesh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they do quality work.
Right, of course.
Like they deserve that, but there's like no way anybody's gonna wanna pay that here. Well, maybe I'm totally wrong, but just in all the years that we've been, it's tough to make a living, be on the brink of burnout and just make, Now we have a family, so usually we have to think about that. And but at the same time, the season we're in, it's so funny. Like we're doing less, but getting more. God's providing more. And so, God's just been so good.
So awesome.
we can't believe where we're at, and it's all God.
As you've seen your journey as a videographer, just constantly morphing over time, whether it be through just the changes of technology, changes of the type of work that you've been involved in, just your hunger as an artist, and kind of coming to this point right now where I think, it seems like you're at a sweet spot, being able to, in full trust, see God bring in, whether it's documentaries, working with nonprofits, to do more creative projects. What's your projection, or what are things that you would love to see in the near future for Studio Red, or even just for you as a developing artist?
That's a good question. Right now our passion is just general passion is telling stories. Whatever capacity that is, that's in, whether it be in the commercial realm or working more with churches, it's hard to project in the future when you're
of course
really focused on living in the moment and now. And so that's been sort of my mindset, or our mindset for the last 5-6 years. Okay, God, just keep our just keep our heads down and keep us humble and focus on now and doing excellent work in the now, and we'll have faith that you'll take care of the future.
Yeah.
So I mean, and the opportunities keep on coming, and there are discussions and stuff of stuff that could potentially be happening in the future, like this upcoming year, and we never know.
Seems like as you're faithful with what God has given you, He's just constantly opening up doors or opportunities along the way.
And for me, it's just to embrace those opportunities, big or small, and just do excellent work, and just keep just keep doing stuff for the sake of honoring God with the opportunity, and this we just want to keep doing that.
As a pastor of a church, right? One of the many pastors, I've been able to just witness the many projects that we've gotten to collaborate with you on, whether it's through testimonials, small documentaries, and even more recently our up and coming kind of like an anniversary documentary, right? That is just the whole history of the church. The last 17 years. 17 years. And I remember you telling me and then we were trying to collaborate too, just being able to go back and find old footage and photos and
that's been fun, the behind the scenes stuff, it's probably just way too much to explain like in this short amount of time.
No, we're gonna have to do a segment too. First of 10.
It's just for me, it's just a matter of taking the baton and just running hard. No matter what, like I said, big or small project, it's just and we want to honor too, like if we're telling someone's story, we want to do the best to honor them by doing our best to to present their story in the best way possible. So and for the church, that was our heart too. Not so much to help our name to kind of project ourselves, but no, it's like we always want to present something to somebody, and hopefully they'll be honored. And
Joel, our time is quickly dwindling away, but I just want to give you maybe 45 seconds to a minute of, if you can address the camera in front, but just I don't know if you have a message or just something that you want to pitch, but just your time to shine.
Putting me on the spot.
Putting the videographer on the spot.
Well,
time is eluding us.
I know, right?
Maybe we gotta save this for the next video. No, I feel like you have just so much to share, right? It's probably hard just to summarize it in just a mere 30 seconds or a minute, right?
Yeah, maybe just like an encouragement for anybody who's in video or dabbling in video. It's just, embrace the opportunities, and don't just treat, especially the small things,
that's a good word.
The small opportunities, as just like an easy project or something just to kick out. Like, use it as a ground to practice something you've always wanted to do, and allow yourself to hone your craft in those moments. And that's what it's been like for me, and hopefully, I can encourage you guys to, just don't throw out the good enough when it comes to your work. Like, there's no such thing as good enough. Like, there's always something greater, and just push forward with excellence in all that you do.
There goes our class. That's all the time we have left. So sorry, but I know this is going to be part one of probably 10 different episodes we could probably do together. But Joel, just want to thank you you're one of the masters of videography to me that has inspired even my own path as a videographer. And just want to thank you for your time coming on set.
Oh, thank you.
And so thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
instaMERSION.
I would love to thank you for hanging out with us here on I Am Talk. Hit the subscribe button to stay in tune with our channel. Oh, and don't forget to tap that bell icon to get notifications on the latest episodes coming your way. We're always looking for the next guests to talk story with here on I Am Talk. So if you just shoot me an email at alex@instaMERSION.com, I'll be sure to shoot a guest application your way. Well guys, it's all for now. Until our next episode of I Am Talk, this is Alex, and I'm out. Peace!